Welcome to Spa, everybody, and welcome back to the second half of the season. We're here at Spa. In this race. Oh. Okay. Anyway. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Anyway. Welcome back to Spa. Welcome back to the second half of the season. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a long few weeks, but we are finally back. And right now, we're getting ready for race, what is technically 13, but I believe I would title it as 14, due to us not having one of the races actually recorded. Not much to say to start this race, or to start the second half of the season. 2-point lead over Valtteri Bottas, who starts second. Lewis Hamilton starts 9th in this race. And Max Verstappen starts 10th. They both were out of position during qualifying. Rain happened in qualifying. It was really weird how qualifying ended in Q3. The screens said rain. However, the weather forecast coming into the weekend said no rain. Then when you went out there, the reports said rain was going to come like 15 minutes with a 10-minute session, which was odd. And then when the rain did come, it wasn't no 15 minutes. It actually came like, maybe I want to say 6 minutes late, and Max Verstappen went out just as the rain was falling down, didn't get a good lap time in to set his banker lap, and when he went to go for the second lap, he pretty much did not improve on his time. So he's starting out of position. We're not going to have rain in the race, though, apparently. I don't know if I trust that or not. We're going to go with one extra lap of fuel. We have 44 laps. This one stop may change to a 2-stop. I mean, I do have the ability to change it to a 2-stop in mid-race if I want to. I know it says 1 stop on the screen. I just don't know what to do. Like, we can carry these. We know we can carry these hards well into the race, but in terms of pace, I just don't think we have enough pace to deal with it. Mediums were very good to us in practice and in qualifying, so hopefully I'm hoping for the race that they'll be doing just the same. But anyway, let's get underway for the second half of the season. Oh, that was a horrible getaway.
Okay, go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs.
Kind of like back everybody up right here. So 2-point lead is all we got so far over Valtteri. We're going to be starting on the mediums. Everybody else is starting on softs.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
We have nothing to worry about in terms of power units for this race. At least not for the next 5 to 6 races. We don't. I am not worried about the power units. I am going to take a grid penalty because I am going to get a new power unit in case, we do, have to get one. I know we're going to have to get one towards the end of the season. I know we can't go on the one that we have currently. But, that'll be fine. So right now, we're not even warmed up. Alright, there we go. Anyway. This is a race of where I'm going to be more aggressive than usual. I think this Mercedes got pace. I don't think that they're really showing it. Lewis Hamilton, I don't think has real pace to fight with us, but Valtteri, oh my god, I think he does. Like, it's scary how much pace I think Valtteri has. It's going to be a real interesting one. Looking forward to it. We're going to go ahead and put the engine down just a bit. We're going to slow these guys all the way up. Put on overtake. I'm trying to let this engine like kind of cool down. Hopefully I've warmed up the engine a little bit. I mean, not warmed up the engine, warmed up the tires a little bit before we got going. Here we go. 44 laps at Spa. This is going to be an interesting one. And to make this even more interesting, it's going to be an interesting run down into turn 1.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for them.
Here we go, second half of the season. We're underway. I want to say a decent launch by me. I took it way too slow on Valtteri through that corner, but he's going to give it up. As we can make up to the turn to El Rouge, we have the lead, but here comes Bottas, and we know we're going to fight this. We are going to squeeze Valtteri for all we're worth. Late braking into this corner. We're going to squeeze him out once again, and Ocon gets second place. Oh, we're not battling Ocon. I might let, even though I know he doesn't have the pace, that's a corner right there where we're going to struggle with. We struggle with it all during testing, all during practice. Even qualifying we struggle with.
Good job.
It's a decent start. We kind of squeezed Bottas out. He had to back out of it, but again, I think if we're going to win this championship, we got to start making moves like that. Because I'm pretty sure if the roles are reversed, Valtteri is not going to give me any space as well. First lap is a clean one, and we're getting away, which is kind of interesting. We're not going to stay in this position for long. I expect Valtteri to come back at us at some point. But the car that he has in front of him, that Renault, is actually pretty darn quick in a straight line, so he may have some trouble here. In terms of our straight line speed compared to you know, the rest of the field, with these soft compound tires, I don't believe that we'll be able to hold these guys off for much longer, especially not when they get DRS. And here they go. When we use overtake, we're gaining on them. If we don't use overtake, we're sitting duck. For this setup this week, we used a increased top speed, but not, you know, sacrificing. We're not sacrificing too much of our chassis and our downforce. So right there is what you just saw, which is probably going to be our best corner if we can nail it. And all through down this section, we're going to be so quick. But in terms of aggressiveness for this championship, I think we're going to have to be a whole lot more aggressive in terms of the moves that we make. Valtteri doesn't seem to be so aggressive. I want to say, I don't know if it's in his coding or his DNA, but he's not really an aggressive driver. But I would say that that's some clean racing. We didn't touch him. We just, you know, squeezed him out as hard as we could. I was not going to let him get that position, because I know if he gets his position, he's probably going to drive away from us here. Come around to complete lap 2. 149.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
What I'm most interested in is that these medium tires seem to have so much pace over the, what's it called? Over softs. In practice, we were about, I want to say, a second faster than the guys on softs. When I went out to do runs on softs, I was actually so much quicker, about 2 seconds quicker on mediums than I was with the softs, and I couldn't believe it.
Take button more. It's time to utilize some of this energy.
And then when we went out on qualifying, we were a full about a second and a half quicker than the guys on softs, and I couldn't believe it. And I went out and actually made a lap on softs as well. And when I came back out to, you know, do a lap on what's his name, mediums, it was about 5 minutes left to go in the session, and I was already down. You can't make mistakes like that. But I was already down on you know, my grid order, and we just started clicking off laps like no one's business. And I was so surprised because a little bit of it was track evolution, but not all of it. Oh, this car just feels so nice right now. At least for right now, it does. But Bauchu's keeping tabs with Ocon here.
We're leading our teammate by 7.5 seconds.
Teammate status.
Repeat that. There's interference.
Teammate status.
There's static over the radio. Say again.
Alright, so they don't want to help me out.
Gap to teammate behind is 7.3 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in 11th. The time last lap was at 1 minute 51.2.
So that's interesting that that he ran a 151 and we're running 149s, 148s right now. That was close. That was real close. I've been pushing the limits with that part of the track a whole lot this past week. Oh shoot. Oh crap, we're making mistakes. I've been pushing the boundary with how far I can really like take it into that corner just to gain a little bit extra time. Because I feel like that's my trump, like my trump card here. I just feel like it's a corner where I can just kind of cheese it a little bit. So far so good on these medium compounded tires. I kind of expected the soft compound runners for at least the first 3 laps to be faster. Because of the fact that, well, it's obviously it's softs. I mean, they should be a whole lot faster than me right now, but I'm guessing tire wear wise, the mediums are holding up better than what the softs will do. Softs are really only good here for about, I want to say, whoa. Okay, that is the first flashback. Softs are really only good here for about 5, maybe 10 laps if they're not used. So right now we have a 6-second gap on Kvyat, who was in 5th? What the heck? Okay, that's pretty interesting. Why is Kvyat in 6th or 5th? Where did he come from? And now he just took over Leclerc's spot. What the heck is going on with people today? don't get on those curves right there, boys. That will spin your car out easily. I did that in practice a whole bunch. Well, not a whole bunch. I only have one accident right there. Well, I take that back. I had maybe like 2 or 3. And with that corner, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Are you alright?
Alright.
Sit tight, the marshals are on their way.
So I tried that in qualifying, and that did not go so well. Obviously, as you can see right there, it didn't go well either. So with that corner, you want to kind of take it a whole lot. You want to turn to your right a whole lot more than what you think you can go on. Then with this corner, it's just flat out. We're gonna try not to strain the engine too much here, because I want to kind of save this engine a tad bit over the course of this race. 149.4.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
To be honest, I know we can go 147 at least, I believe, on the mediums. I believe on softs we can get in like a 145 range, I think. That's close to qualifying speeds, but I think we can get there. 5-second lead over the rest of the pack.
We're at +1 lap of extra fuel. Fuel target +1.
I kind of want to save the fuel. I really don't care about the fuel. At least not at this race. I actually expected us to actually be using a whole lot more fuel than we are right now, even in standard, because of how long you're in the throttle here, you know, how much you're really not really stepping on the brake. I love this corner right here coming up, because I can kind of use the runoff area a little bit more than I think I can. I can press the DRS down here if I wanted to. I'm gonna kind of save it a little bit. Really, I could have hit it, but I would have been down 50% by the time I made this braking zone right here. There's so many places to put the DRS, I mean, not DRS, ERS on.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
By a few tenths. Come on now, guys. There's so many little spots that you can place this at, but I really want to do it like right here. However, I feel like we're going way too fast than we should. We need to lift. On softs, with ERS, that's going to be way too impossible to make that corner. Not unless that car is a super insane amount of grip. But I love this track. It's not really been a fan favorite of mine over the years, but it's not like a Monaco or a Singapore, but it's still a good track nonetheless. And right now we are putting on a clinic. I did not expect us to be doing this right now. I expected us to at least be battling Valtteri. I expect Valtteri to pass Ocon by now, which is very interesting that he's not able to. Of course, I wish I could see right behind me, but, you know, I can't right now, so. We're gonna put on an overtake here and just see what type of lap times we're getting. Kind of use that runoff area. 140.6, 7 tenths.
Fastest lap of the race.
We are now 8 seconds ahead. This may play into our strategy.
Teammate by 18.3 seconds. softs, a teammate behind is 18.3 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in 11th. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
Alright, I can tell you what I did wrong here is I came in at an angle, at the wrong angle for this corner, and I should have just taken a regular line through here. But instead, I did not. Did that actually hurt my front wing? No, it did not. I should have just taken a regular line right there, but it's cool, it's whatever. So what I can do here is turn this into a 3-stopper because I'm building up so much of a lead that really I think we have to pace out run these boys. Now, I could go off cycle, come get softs, and turn this into basically like a 2-stopper. Or I could turn this into a 1-stopper, be on the slower tire, be slow, but at the same time, I'm going longer into the race. I don't need to pit anymore, and we still may have just enough pace to get towards the end. And right now, I'm very much contemplating whether or not I want to come on basically early, get off these mediums, maybe save them for some used tires if we want to later on.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
Because what I can do, hold on, I'm gonna check it while we go up at the straight. Do we have another set? We have 2 sets of. We have another set of new mediums, which is good. But we have to go off cycle. So I think what I'm going to do here is once the top 5 pit, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the pit that next lap, and we're going to come on and we're going to get some used softs. We are then gonna go off cycle and get mediums to the end of this race because I think the mediums will fare out better. Plus, I think we have enough pace in our car right now to basically do that strategy. We're already 16 seconds ahead, and the longer these guys stay out on these used softs, the better we're gonna get because we're gonna have the better tire wear because we're on mediums. I want to stretch this gap out, so we're gonna actually start pushing a whole lot more. I want to at least stretch the gap out from 5th to be at least 20 seconds because I don't know how long a pit stop here is. I think it's about 25 seconds by the looks of the pit lane. We may go up into Rich for the next few laps, just try to see if we can freaking gain some speed here. Try to see if we can do some qualifying laps. Just try to put in some good times. Oh, that is so far from what I wanted to do. Okay. Yeah, that is not the move. That is so far from what I wanted to do. Oh my god, that was stupid. We're still a 10th up. Oh, we saved it. Hung on to it. We're going to try to push as hard as we can. I really don't want to use this ERS that much, but we're going to have to use it at some point. We use a little bit too much of it on the straight. I think once we get up to El Rouge or Radion, we can kind of like, you know, once we get up to Radion, I think we just, you know, we can freaking haul it or hit ERS. Because I don't think we really need it when we're making this turn, because it kind of like spins the rear tires over these bumps and it kind of like freaking whacks out on me. So I think we hit it here. Go down the straight, the Camel straight. Try to go as straight as we possibly can. Turn it off, hit the brakes. Go through this corner. We're about 3/10 down from our personal best, so at least we know what average we'll be doing. We can kind of hit it right there. Go deep into this corner, power it off the corner. Give a little squirt of ERS right there. Tap the brakes lightly. Go through this corner without scraping the front tires. Woo! That is not the move what I wanted to do again. And just like that, we are currently 20 seconds over 4th. And I know we can outrun Kvyat. And I know we could probably get Hamilton as well. Because Hamilton has looked like he has not had the speed all week long. As far as tire wear goes,
fuel is looking really good. You're managing it well.
In terms of the overheating of the tires, none really whatsoever this week. I put the pressures down before we even did anything. Before I even went out for a lap on practice, because that's what I tested during the off weeks. Yeah, shouldn't have any problems with the, at least with the mediums or the hards, in terms of overheating issues with front tires. In terms of when we're going to take the grid penalty for these races coming up, I think we may do it at Russia. That's a track that I really look at, that I say is kind of like in the middle. It's kind of like towards the end, but kind of not, but it's kind of on the brink of, you're going to have to take a grid penalty at some point, and I really don't want to take it at the tracks that I feel like I can notch a win at, that I've been practicing at. So Singapore is one of those places that I think I can notch a win at. USA, Brazil, I want to say Abu Dhabi, but I'm not really sure about that one. Plus Sochi is just a dominant, I feel like it's going to be a dominant track for us. We know we're going to have some tough competition. Obviously this is, you know, one of these races where I felt like we were going to have to, you know, face up against Valtteri for this whole entire race. But that is like kind of, you know, not been the case right now, which is really, really surprising. So, but I think it's also because though they were already on Warren softs.
Tire condition is still looking good.
And our tire condition still looks good. What's interesting is that we ran because these are the softs that I qualified on, we ran 3 laps on these tires. So really, if we ran that one lap, that one good lap, and I think we still would have made it into Q3. These would have been even better to run on. We probably could have carried these another 3 laps maybe. I didn't do any tire management, so I don't think I know how far these tires could really go. I did tire management on the hards, and it was about 2 laps short of what the expected minimum was. As far as everything else, I like this track. Oh, why did I get in the brakes right there? Now I'm gonna have to do this. See what lap time we can pull out of our ass. We are now officially 25 seconds in, at least to the front 4. So the furthest we'll probably go back is about 4th. Our pit now rejoin position is 3rd, which is interesting. Which makes me think that a pit stop here is only 15 seconds, which I pretty much think that is incorrect. Or unless the game just can't calculate it and we don't know when, you know, how close it's going to be between me and Valtteri. I'm surprised that they have not pitted yet. I'm not seeing anybody pit. This many laps in. Or they don't want to pit because they're going to lose too much time to me and they want me to pit first. That could be it. Because right now I have the dominant strategy. Like, I have the mediums. I can go a lot longer than they can. And I'm pretty sure they're going to suffer on tire wear if they keep going like this. The top 3, well, 2nd and 3rd, are pretty much keeping pace. But after that, it's pretty much a slaughter. I'm lapping quicker than them. Teammate status.
You are in first position, front of the pack, Ocon behind. Okay, the gap behind is 16.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps, 31 laps to go.
Pit window opens in 5 laps time. So I'm starting to feel just a little bit of tire wear, not too much. Surprised my gearbox is like 16% right now.
We're leading our teammate by 33.4 seconds.
33.4 seconds, wow.
Say that again, we're having trouble receiving. Moving you to front wing -1, moving to -1 on the front wing with your next pit.
What? Guys, don't change anything.
You're leading the pack. P1, Ocon is behind you. Our gap behind is 17.4 seconds. They're on old softs. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens. 30 laps till the end now.
I think we could go on hards. We can go on hards if we wanted to right now. I don't think that's the move.
Recharge is high. Let's use that overtake button more.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a strategy just in case something happens. Hards basically will do the same thing as mediums right now, but longer. And as they wear, I'll get faster. Or as the fuel burns off, I'll get faster. So, I mean, I don't know what to do, man. Because I know if I go hard now, I'm not going to have any grip up this darn hill. I took that way too deep. That should have been a corner cut, but okay. And now they're pitting. I'm gonna see what tires my teammate goes on. Probably gonna be mediums and now.
Max is in the pits. Max in the pits.
Teammate status.
Didn't catch that. Say again.
Teammate status.
Say again, you're breaking up.
Teammate status.
Couldn't receive that. Repeat the message.
My God, guys. Come on now.
They're on fresh mediums. They're in 16th.
I mean, I could go off strategy here. I could really go off strategy here. I mean, the question is, how comfortable do I feel with hunting these two down if I do that strategy? Because right now, I have a full push strategy. Or we could just go the distance and do what we need to do. I kind of want to get these sauce out the way, because if we go sauce, I mean, I know we'll be faster.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
I think I'm going to take a gamble here because we are 19 seconds ahead and these two are still not pitting, which is interesting as I don't know what. We have plenty of fuel. We're going to get faster as this race goes on. We can go right back to mediums as soon as this happens, and we got pitters. Alright. So I think what we're going to do here is I just don't know. I just don't know. I have to make a decision quick because I can't stay out here too long in these mediums. We're staying 2 laps extra. I can't do that. I think what I'm going to tell the guys to do is, because I'm feeling Argyle today and I have the points lead, oh my God. Okay, I'm not even focusing. I'm trying to change some strategy. I think we're gonna go use sauce. We're gonna come out first.
Understood. Stop.
We're in a box. We're gonna come out first anyway, so we might as well.
They're in 4th.
That's all the info you can give me? He went on medium, so yeah, we're gonna do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. We did not speed. Thank you, game. We didn't speed. And then I think what we're gonna do also is we are going to pit. These softs aren't really that bad.
We'll be doing one more stop today. 1 stop left in our strategy.
Yeah, so we switched up the strategy. (28 to 34). Yeah, we're gonna come out at first. We have a 20-second lead, so we didn't lose anything. So these are used softs, just a little bit. We only used them for 1 run. In Q2, I mean, yeah, in Q2, I think. Yeah, because we only went out for that run. So these only have 1 lap. so these basically carry us just by 18 laps, so 10 laps is okay on these, so we just have to push it. So we have the ability to push. We are in the catbird seat, I don't know what you call it. We are in the driver's seat right now, and we can do whatever we want. I could have gone on the hards, but I mean, it is what it is. As the fuel burns off, I'd rather be on mediums. It gives us a whole bunch of more pace. We can do whatever we want at this point, and I think that's what I'm going to tell the guys to do. Yeah, they want to go on mediums. Okay. So Red Bull knows the strategy that I'm playing here. And we're going to go for a fastest lap right here. We're going to see what type of speed we have with these mediums. I mean, sorry, softs. Let's give it full beans this lap. Let's just see what we can do. We're already 202 before we cross that DRS line. Only 5/10 up? Oh my god, if I know that corner, I know I can gain like a 10th or 2.
Gap to teammate behind is 41.9 seconds.
Oh, we could just throw it in there. I just love that on these softs. We're gonna use DRS down this whole third sector. I just love how the twitchy the car feels when I go through that corner, because I know with the sauce I can just correct it and not lose the back end. We are just not getting to the point where we're going to overheat.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Nearly 2 seconds faster than what that was almost a qualifying lap. If we nailed that one turn, I think we get into the 145s. With the sauce, I have full confidence in that. But we pit in the 8 laps, so everybody else is on mediums right now. What this is going to do, though, is I believe
you are in first position, front of the pack. On behind, the gap to the car behind is 23.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 8 laps time. You have 25 laps to go.
25 laps to go here. I want to say they cannot go the distance. I don't think they can. I'm kind of curious because I don't think they can go the distance. So they pitted about, what, 2-3 extra laps before me. Yeah, they pitted 2 laps earlier, which it means 25, 26, 27. That means they're going to have to come on for another pit stop, which means they're probably going to go on softs towards the end of this race. May go on softs. Some may go on hards. I wouldn't imagine that you would put on hards. You're probably going to see them come on with about, I want to say 10 to go, at least. Maybe. I don't know. But we have to stay above 5 seconds.
It's time to utilize some of this energy.
Above 25 seconds, I'm sorry. We gotta take full advantage of these tires as well because they're gonna go off. And once they go off, we're gonna start losing heaps of time. But I don't know. The guys, Valtteri and Ocon, pretty much stayed on my tail, or stayed within a certain gap. Like, they weren't dropping like a rock. They were actually like dropping progressively. I just have to get that corner right. I just don't know what it is. As long as we stay, I feel comfortable with a 10-5 second lead. Now, obviously, I think when we pit, if they don't, I was getting ready to say, I think when we pit, I don't think they're gonna be close to us, but not extremely close. Obviously, if they don't pit, I think that we'll have a race on our hands. I don't think we will. I think we won't, because they'll be on older tires than I will be. Wow, that one lap really shot us down. Alright, so we're gonna be quiet here. We're gonna just enjoy the nice sounds of F1 being back in action, baby. Let's go. Alright, I can kind of feel these tires going off. Kind of. Tire status.
Repeat that. There's interference.
Tire status.
There's static over the radio. Say again.
Oh my god, these guys. Some days the control speak does work, and then other days it just doesn't want to work for me.
There's 22 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left. Pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps.
How many laps you got to go?
You're leading the pack. P1 Ocon is behind you. The gap behind us is 27.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps, 22 laps to go.
22 laps to go. That's enough. We can pit at any point in time. I guess Red Bull wants me to pit with when we're in the teens because of how this race is playing out. They want to make sure I have enough to get to the end. We did brush the wall a little bit. Did check for damage. I think we'll be fine. Just a little bit of minor damage. Nothing to be too concerned about. We are kind of losing our pace a little bit. Ever so slightly. So I think what I may do is if we go down to 25.1 seconds over Ocon, I think we'll go ahead and pit.
Okay, the car behind is catching you by 5/10 a lap. 5/10.
Alright. Driver behind.
Ocon behind. Okay, the gap behind is 26.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 49.2.
Alright, he just said they have another stop. He's catching me by 5/10. So if he's catching me by 5/10, I can only guess what Valtteri is bringing.
Say that again. We're having trouble receiving.
So we're gonna go ahead and cover them off. We're in a box.
We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
We're pitting 4 laps earlier, which is fine. Not even paying attention to my screen all that much. We're going straight on the mediums right now. Wasting no time getting on that medium tire. We're going to the end.
Exit now.
We honestly, we potentially could have gone for what's it called?
Look after these tires now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
We potentially could have gone for the hards, but I don't see a point in doing so. So they're not gonna make any more pit stops. We have now switched our tires. Well, we switched them when we did the soft, so we completed the regulations by the FIA. We are on totally fresher lap tires than these guys. My engineer didn't tell me of them pitting or having to pit, but they could easily go on softs right now. However, they're going to give up so much time now because I've already pitted. And oh, Bottas and Ocon are going to go at it. Surprised we're not seeing Daniel Ricciardo up here. Thought he would have been up here a little bit, but guess not. I hope that Verstappen is past Hamilton. Teammate status.
You are in first position, front of the pack. Ocon is behind you. Our gap behind is 8.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. You have 20 laps till the end. We're leading our teammate by 31.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 10th. The time last lap was a 1:49.1.
So we're catching Latifi again.
Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy.
Alright, I was just trying to see if I could like push it kinda. I just gotta get that corner figured out a little bit better than what I am. Than what I can. That corner is just getting to me. Because I feel like I can make up so much time right there. I just want to confirm that we have pace because they've been hovering around 9 seconds. But the other thing that I'm kind of surprised is that the draft. It seems that the draft is slowing these two drivers down, and I don't know whether it's because what's his name? I don't know whether it's because of dirty air is playing a factor or whether the slipstream is actually helping them. Like, I don't think it's helping them in sectors 2 and 3 because there's so much twisty and turny, like, turns going on. But sector 1 is really the only sector where they're having their best runs at. Like, and they'll get it down on the straightaway. They're on the straightaway right now. They're not that far behind. That's their only chance that they have. Other than that, they're not really catching me. If they were catching in the sectors 2 and 3 and at slipstream, they would pretty much catch me and pass me. I wouldn't even put up a fight. Well, knowing me, I probably would, but I'm not going to be able to win it. But so far this race has been kind of interesting. Here we got Latifi again. Oh, went too far deep into that corner. He's gonna actually, wow. I did not expect him to let me go that far and that easily. Like, I was miles behind him. Oh, I thought we was gonna crash. I thought we These mediums do have a little bit of grip to them, a little bit of bite, just like the softs do, so we should be okay. In terms of grip.
The car behind is dropping back. We're seeing a gap form.
That's a good thing, boys. The other thing that I'm kind of worried about is on the last few laps. I feel like Bottas, I don't feel like that lap that I put up is a good enough lap. It's only a 146.8. We were hitting like what, 149s? I'm gonna check his lap times in a minute here, and I want to see what lap times he's running with these mediums on, and see what lap time he can possibly potentially go up to if he wants to go for fastest lap. Because right now, if it's as it stands, I'm gonna be leading the championship, and he just got past Ocon for second. But if he finishes right behind me, it's a 4-point cushion that I have.